Hey, it's been a while since I've been in the Law of Attraction group, so I thought I would jump in. I'm just checking that I'm all set up. I thought I would jump in and say hello and give you a little tip for tonight, all right? And also to see, now some of you that have been to the school, who've actually been to the school, some of you have. Hi guys, hi Jason, Paul, Diane. Some of you have been to the school and know what I'm about to share with you, and then other people are like, oh, I haven't heard this before. So this is the kind of short version of it, all right? This is the short version of, obviously when you come along to the school, you get this in more depth. So it's a little refresher reminder for those who have been, and for those that haven't, I'm just going to kind of touch on this. And it's about how do we get into the magic? What do I mean by the magic, okay? Hi, Diane. Hi, Jason. Sally, hello. Good to see you. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Jessie. Hi, Anne. So how do we get into the magic? And what do I mean by the magic? So the magic is in life when you are in flow. We've all kind of had that feeling sometimes where it just seems to be, it's like serendipity, it's like flow, when the stars seem to align and things seem to happen, but they seem to happen effortlessly. But it's also as well where we kind of seem to draw upon this power where we all of a sudden, ding, we get an inspired idea. Or all of a sudden, ding, you've got the answer to a problem that has been niggling you for a while, the solution comes. Or all of a sudden, boom, clarity, I have clarity, okay? This is like the magic. This is where, hi Sue, this is where, the magic happens, okay? When we are in this kind of magic zone. But that can only come to us when we are in that state. Remember, we've talked before about states, like your energy state, your vibration state, the state that you are in, that's what you attract. So we can only do that when we're in the magic state. So how do we get into it? So here's my wonderful, wonderful diagram. All right, which is probably you're reading this backwards, I have no idea. All right, so these are the three states, okay? 1, 2, 3. And what are they? State 1, type in, guys, those of you that have been to the school, in fact, I'd love you to type in, or give us a like, do you remember these three states? And any of you, if you remember what those three states were, type in. Let's see how good your memory is for those that have been to the school. Type in if you remember the name of any of them. Now, obviously, state number 2 is the magic, okay? But state number 1, what is state number 1? I'm trying to see if before I answer, has anybody actually, does anyone remember it from the school? I'm going to write it in just now. Let's see. Nope. Oh, yes, I do. Well done, Jason. Top points for you. You remembered. I have to say, I take my hat off to you, okay? Top student inside Salon Jedi Academy. Yes, you're completely right. State 1, all right, when we're in state 1, we are in meditation. So think of meditation as that calm, clearing state, all right? So we're in meditation, everything slows down. Without getting into the whole how the brain works, just think everything slows down and it's like recharge. This is when you're recharging to your energy source, which is source energy, okay? So it's not specifically when you sleep, but even just in meditation, when you shut off that clutter in your mind, that constant voice, they call it the monkey mind, is it, or something like that. That constant chatter where we are just talking crap, where we're making stuff up of what might happen. All right, we get rid of that. When we're in meditation, it is to clear all that. Think of it like if you have a car, you service that car, you keep that car serviced, and if you look after it and you do it well, it will run for longer and it will run better. If you have another car that is running on empty, that you're never servicing, you're not looking after it, that it's not going to perform to the same. Agreed, guys? Yes or no? Give us a like if that makes sense, or a love. Give us a like or a love. That makes sense, yes? Rather than running it into the ground, we need to service our minds, our energy, okay? So that's where meditation comes in. Because meditation, I don't necessarily mean like, going over to the Nepal and, that kind of meditation. It can just be quieting your mind, breathing, focusing on your breathing. So it can just be slowly breathing in for 10, pausing, holding it there, and then slowly counting out for 10, and doing that 10 times, you will feel the energy in your body slow down, okay? It can be listening to meditation apps, it can be guided meditations, it can be just, switching everything off, and you're literally just trying to think of nothing and just clearing your mind, and as the clutter comes in, just let it pass and keep coming back to the moment and to the now, okay? So breathing, for those of you, is there anyone that finds it kind of tough to meditate? Give us a like or comment, or do you find it tough? You should be doing it, but for some reason you just can't seem to sit still to be able to do it. Well, sometimes guided meditations are better for you, all right? So like kind of yeah, I thought maybe there's usually a few that kind of find it tough for whatever reason. And I know that I did to begin with, because all my mentors would always say to me, and I would read it in every book, I was reading all the right books, I had the mentors and they were all saying it, but I just kept forgetting. I kept forgetting how important it was until I started to do it and I started to create the habit of doing it. But here's what's important. I started to notice that as I would do this meditation, okay, so the more that I was in here and I was doing it, phase 2 is the magic, where you get the divine inspiration, you get the answers, okay? And what I started to notice was, after I've meditated, I get the zone, I'll find the answer, or I'll get the inspiration, or everything always works out. And when I started to kind of connect the dots, so rather than just reading about it and being told about it, but actually practicing myself, and the more and more I did it, the more I realized, oh my goodness, this is like the missing kind of jigsaw piece. It's like you cannot get into the magic, all right? You can't get into the magic without coming through. Think of it as you've got to come through this door first to get into number 2. But unfortunately, where we live most of the time is in state number 3. That's where most of us live most of the time. And as Jason correctly got, number 3, the state of number 3 is in memory. All right, and most of us live in memory most of the time. So that's where our limiting beliefs are. They can be empowering too, don't get me wrong, but that's where our limiting beliefs are. We are not born with fears. We are not born feeling unworthy. We are not born with a fear of being judged. We're not born with a fear of, how we look, going out there and sharing our voice. We're not, we are not born with that. We're born of a fear of falling, or a fear of loud noises. That's all we're born with. The rest is put there through memory. Something happens, we internalize it, our brain kind of wires up, and it's like, oh, bang, there you go, there's a belief, okay? And all these memories, that's what fear is based on. Something's happened in the past and it's become a fear going forward, for example, or in some cases a phobia. So we live in this memory state. And in this memory state, this is where the chatter happens. This is where we doubt ourselves. This is where we play out scenarios in our head, like little videos. We play them out, but like really crap ones. Like, what if negative, what if this happens, as in, what if that happens? And we play this stuff out in our head because maybe something's happened in the past and we start to believe and expect that it'll happen again. So we have to kind of obviously start to create new memories, put new positive stuff in there, be more mindful and look at things more objectively, and actually look back and sit, remember all the stuff that you've learned at the boot camp. You think back objectively and you're like, right, no, I'm asking myself stupid questions right now, why me, why this, why, all that crap, right? And we've got to be mindful enough that we pull ourselves out of that memory if it's not serving us. If it's empowering memory, great, wallow in it. Soak that up, baby. The good stuff, wallow in it. And keep that fixed, keep that locked in. You can even sort of create anchors, like you see people kind of, when you get that feeling, you can actually, and let it build up. And this is when I'm doing my visualizations, and you can kind of anchor that in. Each time you're feeling, on top of the world, you're doing something that's like an anchor to anchor it in. So just a recap, okay? Mostly we live in memory, fear, doubt, limiting beliefs, all this kind of stuff. And the only way we can get into the magic is we have to come reverse and we've got to come in through meditation. All right, so we are going for, I'm looking at this and doing this backwards, so it's really awkward. Right, so we are in memory. Okay, we can't come into the magic straight from memory. We go from memory and we have to come through here, number 1 first. In fact, let me write this down because I'm not doing a very good job of this. Bear with me. Right, so from number 3, we've got to come round to number 1 first, into there, and then we get into there. All right, try that. So we have to go from number 3, all right, number 3, and we've got to go into the meditation, clearing our mindset to open the pathway to get into number 2. And we will be in the magic for a while, and it'll feel great, and we'll be like, woo! And then before you know it, all of a sudden, doof, we're back in memory again. So this is why we're so inspired, Jen. And sometimes, you can come to the school, you can do all that, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to take on the world. And then before you know it, boom, back in memory, back doubting yourself, back living your life in fear, not taking action, limiting beliefs, etc., etc. So the only way to get back in here, there's no shortcut of getting back into the meditation. All right, so just a reminder of how important that is. We want to be in the magic state as much as we can, and we get through there through meditation. All right, is this making sense, guys? You're remembering this from the school? Give us a like or a love or a thumbs up if that makes sense to you. And those of you that have been to the school, have you been practicing the meditation more? Have you put this into my daily routine of something that is, look, 7 days are going to pass anyway. 7 days' time will pass. It's up to you to make a choice. What am I going to feel like in 7 days' time? Am I going to spend the next 7 days wallowing in and immersing myself in the right stuff, like meditation, positive mindset, visualization, doing my dream books, going back to my Super Self Bible, doing all the good stuff? Or am I going to ignore all that and for the next 7 days keep going around in my head, whatever this problem is that I'm dealing with, and just keep running through this crappy scenarios in my head and being stuck in the memory and feeling shit and running a shitty pattern? Your choice. Just like it's my choice every day. All right, I get into the memory. It happens to us all. You get into the memory, something happens, and you're like, okay, I need to pull myself out of this. You have to be mindful enough to go, right, I stay here, this isn't going well, I'm going to pull myself out of this. So boom, I'm back into meditation and doing the right things. Just doing the right things and being more mindful. Does that make sense, guys? Has this been helpful? Is it good when I jump on like this and share little things with you? Give us a like or a comment or something. Make sure that you're finding this valuable, that I'm kind of jumping on and sharing this again with you tonight. Diane, my mind wanders too much. Yes, but it depends what it wanders to, because it does. Left unkept, your mind goes nuts. It goes crazy. It does for all of us if you're not mindful and kind of pull it back again. So there's definitely, it's definitely can be challenging, but it's about being aware. Awareness is a key thing too. When we talk about mindset and all that kind of stuff, a lot of it is the mindfulness, which really is awareness of spotting something or spotting a pattern or a behavior pattern that you're thinking, hey, this is not leading in the right direction. I'm being led by a negative emotion right now. I am going to do something about this. Right, I'm switching everything off. I'm going off up to my room. I'm getting all my dream books out. I'm going to wallow in the good stuff. I'm going to watch positive videos. I'm going to do my meditation. I'm going to, and so on. All right, guys? Makes sense? So, how do you learn to meditate? So, it comes with practice, and there's different ways of doing it. However, guided meditation is probably a good way to start, which is something like an app like Headspace, or there's loads of things on YouTube that you can just kind of follow and listen to the guided meditation. It uses things like binary beats or sometimes people listen to just particular sounds like beats and sort of rhythm. There's different things, and I think the key thing is finding something that works for you. I prefer not to use guided meditation, although I do when I'm doing my inner size. So when I'm doing my John Assaraf inner size, that is like guided meditation. It's like retraining your brain. So yes, I do things like that, but I tend to, you know, I've done courses in the past, they've given me tips on what to do. So I can literally kind of go into meditation myself, you know, and, you know, where I go into this quiet space and I focus on all the energy centers and your chakras. And, you know, it's almost like a little kind of play going on your head and how certain things feel. But so you can either, you know, I'm sure there'll be free things that you can download. It's about finding someone or something that you relate to, Sue, something that you can do. But the easiest thing, if you don't have anything of that, is just breathing. It's just getting a quiet space. And you know, what I used to do when I used to do it, I think I first did this through yoga, I think. Not that I'm a yoga, you know, person. I think I went once. And at the yoga, at the end, they did like a breathing thing. And all it was you breathe in for one, hold it for one, I think. Yep. Breathe in for one, hold it for one, breathe out for one. Breathe in for two, hold it for two, and breathe out for two. And then in for three, and hold it, and then out, and so on. And you did that up to 10. So by the time you got to 10, it's like this really slow, deep, deep breath. You know, but because you're so focused on the breathing, nothing else is coming in. So it is kind of clearing, it's resetting, so it is a form of meditation. So just focus on the breathing would be a good one to start with. All right, and it's about making it habit. How long every day would you recommend? Is there, I mean, it's not an optimum number. It's like if you can only do it for 3 minutes in the morning and 3 minutes at night, do it. If that's all you can do, it's better than doing nothing at all. If you can do it for 10 minutes in a session, you know, by the time you actually do the breathing and back out again, I like to at the very least, if I'm not doing a meditation session, at the very least, I'll do my breathing in the morning. So my breathing is breathing in for 10, holding it for 10, and then breathing slowly out for 10. And I do that 10 times. So however long that takes, that is the very least, you know, that I want to do to start my day, to start every day. And then at night, you can do that again, or you can do a guided meditation. You know, so many times I've fallen asleep doing a guided meditation at night. And depending on where I'm at and what I'm doing, try and do just little snippets within the day. Unless I'm working on a program, like if I'm inner sizing, I'm doing a thing at the moment where I'm doing like a meditation thing for 5 days in a row. And once I've done that, I'll pick up tips on that. And each one, I think it's about 15 minutes, so it'll be 15 minutes a day. And then I'll take little bits. I'm always doing something and taking little bits, and then I make my own kind of model of it, and I'm always changing it and trying different things too. So hopefully that helps. There's no set time, but if you can do it for 15 minutes a day, whether that's split up through the day, that would be fantastic. It doesn't have to be like for hours, and you know, it doesn't have to be that. If you have the time for that, great, but it doesn't have to be. All right, but it just kind of opens, it's almost like it opens up that little portal, it opens up that little part of the brain or whatever it is to kind of get in. It's almost like you're blocked without it. It's like it opens up this little portal where the stuff can flow in, the information, the answers, the magic, the creativity, but you just all of a sudden get that, you know, that kind of idea or something that's been bothering you for a while, that all of a sudden you kind of get the power to just let go. And when you let go, something magical seems to happen where it seems to resolve itself. The feeling of just letting go of a self, that kind of stop swimming against the tide, no more resistance, and you just kind of float along. It seems to have a power in itself. Okay, guys, I hope you find that valuable tonight, and it's been great jumping on with you, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll speak soon. Take care.